Good morning, students. Welcome to C++ class. Today's class, I will explain the practical part of arrays. How to create an array, how to initialize an array, and how to print an array. Theory part already I have completed. Okay, now in Developer C++ editor, I will show you how to execute that arrays program. Okay, so in order to write a program, first you open the editor. Here, Developer C++. This is an editor. Here, File, New, Source File, File, New, Source File. Okay, here we'll write the program. Okay, so first, as usual, include IO stream, st, IO stream. Next, the next line, using namespace std. Okay, now after that you include the main function. Now after this it is a function, so immediately after the function you should give the braces. Now here I am declaring one variable, int a equals to 10. Okay, now I am printing that cout a. Okay, now save it. I am saving this file as a12.cpp. It is a C++, so you give the extension as cpp. Save. Now see here a12, you can see the program. Okay, now execute, compile. .cpp, something error here. We'll see void main must return int. Okay, it should be int. Int. Now after this, return 0. Save it. Again come to execute, compile. You can see the compile window, no errors. Execute, run. This output screen, 10 is printed. Okay, this is a simple program when you are printing a one value, but in case only one variable is there, one student is their example. In the student name, with the student name, if you want to store multiple values, if you want to store multiple values in a single variable, then we take the help of array. So here, same example, in a variable I want to store 5 values. So here I am giving a 5. Next, equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. So 5 variables we are storing. Okay. So if it is a single variable, directly here I have printed. But if multiple values are there, then how values are printed? Okay. Right? Then we'll use loops. Int I equals to 0, because array index start from 0, so I want to print from starting to ending. Semicolon. I less than or equals to 5. So it is starting from a 0, so the length will be n minus 1. Next. Now after this it is a loop, so it is a block, it contains block of statements now, so that should be enclosed between a braces. So here I am printing cout What is the name of the array? A. A, I. Okay. Now you can take out this. Here, how this execution, how this program is executed is, so this is a IO stream, it's a library file, and in this library file we have a number of modules. From that we are using classes of std. Next, it is a main function. Your program execution starts from a main function. Next, here int is a data type, and a is a name of the array, and in that array how many elements we are storing? 5 elements. Now what are these elements? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now for int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, means here 10 index number is 0, and a 20 index number is 1, 30 index number is 2, 40 index number is 3, 50 index number is 4. So 4 is less than 5, so that is why I have given 5. So I want to print values from starting to ending. So whatever values you are printing, that should lie between 0 to 4. Next, this is output statement, and it is used to print. It is used to print all the elements. Okay, understood. Now we'll see this executed or not. Compile. No errors. Execute. Run. You can see this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. See, but here I will add an endl character. Save it. You can see this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So instead of the single element, at a time I have printed all the elements. Okay, this is one method. Example, if you, when will use this method? When you want to print all the elements at a time, then we'll use this method. But if you want to print a particular element, then this method is not suitable. No? Then what we'll do is, I will remove this. I will write only, here what I want to print is only 30 I want to print. See out. Okay, what is the index number of that? 2, no? Give the 2. Give the semicolon. Save it. Execute. Compile. Execute. Run. See, 30 is printed. So if you want to print only the one element, then directly you can give the name of the array. What is the index number of that array? But when you want to print all the elements, then you can use any loop. For loop you can use, while loop you can use, do while you can use. So here initial value should be memory of this one, and the range should be this one. So whatever values you are printing, that should be between this and this. Okay, understood? Again I will write that program once again. You see, for, because here I want to print all the elements, int I equals to 0 starting value, I less than 5, less than 5 means 4, the last element. Next, I plus plus. After that, after the loop, it is a block of statements. Immediately there should be a flower basis. Next, here you write the output statement. If the condition is true in the loop, what should be printed? A of I. Okay. Next, E and the end line. After each element, line will be break here. You can see this. Okay. Save it. Now go to execute, compile. No errors. Execute, run. Okay. So how this will be executed internally is I equals to 0 means memory representation of this. Now next, I less than 5 means 0 less than 5. Condition is true. If the condition is true, immediately this part will be executed. What is this part? It is output statement. Whatever element is there in that particular position, that will be printed on the output screen. After printing that element on the output screen, this I value is incremented. What is the I value? 1. 1 less than 5, condition is true. Again this will be executed. The second element is printed. Now I is incremented. Now what is our value? 2. 2 less than 5, condition is true. Third element is printed. After that again I is incremented. What is our value? 3. 3 less than 5, condition is true. That value will be printed. Now I value is 4. 4 less than 5, condition is true. So the fifth element is printed. Next I is incremented. Now what is I value? 5. 5 less than 5, condition is false. So when the condition is false, the loops that control comes to the statement which is immediately after this block, means this one. Okay, this is a execution, and this here simple example program which illustrates arrays. If you want to print, if you want to store more than one element with the same name, then we'll use the arrays. What example I have given? Apartment example I have given. Apartment name is same, flat numbers are different. Here, all these elements are identified with the same name, with the A only. Okay, but what is the difference? Only the memory representation is different. So that I will show you here. Cout A of 0, first element. Okay, now next term Cout, here I will give the endl so that it will be easy for you to see. Next Cout second element. This is your second element. If you want to print a third element, just you give the array name and give the what is the memory index number of that particular element. Okay, example, here I am printing a 3 elements, first element and the third element and fourth element I am printing. Okay, so here you can observe one thing, that whatever name is there, no, A is common, and whatever index number you are giving here, that is a memory representation, that is different. So here I am giving a 1. You can give any value. Here I am giving a serially I am giving 0, 1, 2, 3. Save it. Again, here I am executing, execute, compile. Now, no errors. Again, go to execute, run. Only 3 elements are printing. Okay. So, why 3 elements are printing? Because here I have given only 3 elements information. If you want to print all the elements, you can use the loop. Okay. Only one thing you need to observe is here whatever elements you are storing in the array, all those elements are identified with the same name. Okay, here for all the elements I have given the same name. Only whatever indices is there, no, that is a memory representation is there, no, that will be different. And whatever this memory, this indices number is there, index number is there, no, that is starting from a 0 and the last element is a length minus 1. So the last element will be 4. So here I am trying to print one more element, Cout. What is the name of the array? 5. Save, execute, compile. You will, okay. See here, 0 you are getting. Actually, that element is not there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last element memory is a 4. But here what I am printing, index number is a 4. No, here what I am trying to print 5. So when the element is not there and you are trying to print that element, here what you are getting? 0. Okay. Understood? So only one thing you need to remember, all the elements are identified with the same name and only the index number is different, and that index number starts from a 0 and the last index number will be length minus 1. Okay. Now here in C++ we have different types of arrays. Okay. And this is one dimensional array because here you have only one subscript. If you have two subscripts, that is called as a two-dimensional array. Okay, now I will explain the program. No. So if you have two subscripts, here I am giving a 2 and next I am giving a 2. Means here one subscript represents rows and one subscript represents columns. Okay, two subscripts you have. If you have two subscripts, then it is called as a two-dimensional array. Okay, 2 rows, 2 columns, or you can say that it is a 2 cross 2 matrix. Two-dimensional array is nothing but a matrix. We can call it as also matrix. So here total how many elements you have? 4 elements, right? Now here 1, 2, right? Next, 3, 4, right? This is a array, right? Two-dimensional array, 2 rows and 2 columns, right? So if only 1 row and 1 column, simply I have given a memory addresses and output statement is executed. Now here I am printing cout. First row, first column I want to print. That is a 1 I want to print. Then A, first subscript 0. Next second subscript 0. Next 0, not 0, 0. Okay. Now see here, first row for a first subscript and this for a row and this for a column. Now A00 means what? Actually this is a A00. This is a row and this is a first row and the first column. Now save this, execute, compile. No errors. Execute, run. 1 is printed. Okay, because here you can see one memory representation is first row, first column. Now I will change the indices number. Cout A. Second element I want to print. So it's the first row only and I want to print the second column. Right. This one. Second column means it is a 1. Column numbers also start from a 0. So row is the same. First row only. Second column only. Column number is incrementing, row is not incrementing. Okay. Save it, execute, compile. Errors 0, execute, run. See, the second element is printing. Okay. Similarly, you can print all the elements, or if you want to print all the elements at a time, you can use a for loop. But if it is only one-dimensional array, you can use only one for loop. But if you have a two-dimensional array, you can use a 2 for loops. Okay. Now here I am using a for loop. For int I equals to 0. Rows are starting from a 0. Next I less than 2 because it is starting from a 0, no? So the second element will be 1. Only 2 rows we have, no? So the second row number will be 1. So that is why here I am giving a I less than 2. Next I plus plus. Incrementing. Now over. Next it is the loop. You should have block. This is for a row. Whatever for loop I have given, that is the outer loop, and that we are using for a row. Next, for int j equals to 0. This is for a column. Okay, first row, first column. First row, second column. Second row, first column. Second row, second column. Like that. We are using one loop for a row and one loop for a column. Now, j less than 2. Because here we have only 2 columns. So that is why I am giving. This is also j less than 2. Or j plus plus. Just a minute. Right. Now, if these 2 conditions are true, then the particular element should be printed. Now here, Cout. If it is a one-dimensional array, directly I have given a of I. But if it is a two-dimensional array, you need to give row number, column number. Cout a of I. Here I for a row and j for a column. Right? Save it. Execute. Compile. We'll see, is there any error? No errors. Now, execute, run. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, at a time, all the elements are printed. Here I will give a endl. Endl. Okay. So that you will get a clarity. Execute, compile. No errors. Execute, run. See, 4 elements. So here in this, what concept we are using is 2 loops we are using. Okay, this is called as a outer loop. This is called as a outer loop, and this is called as a inner loop. Inner loop. Okay, so when the outer loop is executed for the first time, and this inner loop should be completely executed. Means, example, if I equals to 0, one time I equals to 0, I less than 2, condition is true. If the condition is true, then we'll enter into the body of the loop. In the body of the loop, what I have given? One more for loop I have given. For int j equals to 0, j less than 2. If the condition is true, then what happened? Cout a of I, a of j is printed. So this element is printed. But this inner condition is not failed yet. So when this inner condition is true, then only we'll go to the outer. If the inner condition is not false, if it is not failed, then we won't go to the outer. Okay, so after executing this, after printing the first element, j is incremented by 1. Now because here we are not going to the outer loop because inner loop is not failed. When the inner loop is failed, then only we'll go to the outer loop. So basically the j value was 0. Now j is incremented by 1. Now what is the j value? 1. Condition 1. J less than 2. Condition is true. If the condition is true, so j value is 1. 1 less than 2. So condition is true. If the condition is true, again what I have given in the body of the loop, output statement I have given. So Cout a, what is the I value? 0 only. It's not incremented yet. Okay. Now what is the j value? 1. So the second element is printed. First row, second element is printed. Okay. After printing this, again j is incremented by 1. Now what is the j value? 2. 2 less than 2. Condition is false. So when the condition is false, here the loop is terminated. Again the control goes to the outer loop. Now outer loop is incremented. Now what is the value of the outer this I value here? Now 1. 1 less than 2, condition is true. 1 less than 2, condition is true. This condition is true. Again we'll come to the inner loop. Okay. for every first execution or one execution of outer loop, this inner loop is executed twice. It is a 1:2 ratio. Okay, for every execution of the outer loop, on every execution of the outer loop, complete inner loop should be executed. Okay, so here I value is 1 less than 2, condition is true, again we'll enter the body of the loop. Now here again complete inner loop should be executed. Now j equals to 0, j less than 2, condition is true, the inner loop body of the loop will be executed. The body of the loop, what I have given, a 0. Here what is I value? 1. J value is 0. So second row first element is printed. Now again inner loop is only executed because it is incremented, j equals to 1. J less than 2, condition is true. Again first row second element is printed. So when the outer loop is executed once, no, complete inner loop should be executed. That is a nested loop. Okay, this concept we'll use in a matrix actually. One for a row and one for a column. So when the outer loop is executed one, no, complete inner loop should be executed. After executing the inner loop, after when the condition is failed in the inner loop, no, when the loop is failed in a inner, no, then outer loop is incremented. Okay, understood? So actually how it is outer loop is executed for once and the inner loop is executed till the condition is false. Every execution of the outer loop, complete inner loop should be executed. Okay, so this is about matrix. This is the two-dimensional array. Okay, yeah, if it is only one subscript, one-dimensional array. If it is two subscript, it's a two-dimensional array. If it is more than one subscript, then if you want to create a number of tables, it is only one table, no? This is only one table. But if you want to create a number of tables, then we'll take the help of multi-dimensional array. Okay. Here I have given example program which illustrate a multi-dimensional array. See here how many dimensions you have? 3 dimensions. So if you have if it is more than 2, that will come under a multi-dimensional array. Okay. So how to actually here in multi-dimensional array, first for a number of matrix. Example, you want a 3 matrix, 4 matrix, that is nothing but the matrix, or you can say that it is a table. And in each and every matrix, how many rows you have and how many columns you have? 3 rows, 2 columns. Okay, this is the first matrix and this is a second matrix. Okay, now this is for a number of tables and this is for a number of rows and this is for a number of columns. Okay, so for the two-dimensional array we used only 2 loops. So if it is a multi-dimensional array, it is more than 2, means number of subscripts and the number of loops should be same. So here instead of a 2, we used to print 3. 1 for a matrix number and the 1 for a row and 1 for a column. Okay, so multi-dimensional array. If it is a more than one subscript, that will come under multi-dimensional array. Okay, so here I have created a 2 matrix. Okay, I will show you the execution part of this. I am saving this. Execute, compile, no errors. Actually this is executed program. Now execute, run. See, you can see the output. This is a first matrix and this is the second matrix. Okay, so in the first matrix, how many rows you have? 2 rows. This one, 3 rows you have. First row, second row, third row. And in the second one also, 3 rows you have and 2 columns you have. Here you can see the output. Execute, run. 2 tables. This is the first matrix. This is the second matrix. In the first matrix, you have 3 rows, 3 columns, and in the second matrix also, you have 3 rows, 2 columns. This is your multi-dimensional array program. The next class, I will explain the strings.